Christmas, everybody. I thought I'd give you a few instructions on how to care for your lamb hams this Christmas, and they're looking delicious with our rosemary smoked lamb hams. So the first thing that's important to do is to make sure you take the ham out of the vacuum bag for 24 hours so that it has time for the air to get to it before you carve it. That'll stop a lot of the sweating that happens. So make sure you remove the vacuum bag, put it back in the fridge with nothing on it, just put it on a board or a plate and let the cold air circulate around it for 24 hours. I did that yesterday, so this one's been airing nicely. Take off our little piece of rosemary. Now the next thing to think about is carving, and the rule of thumb is always to carve against the grain. So if you look at the ham and work out which way the muscles are running, so they generally run down and around the bones in the leg. So you want to try and cut against the way the muscles are running. So if I was starting off this ham, I would be cutting against the muscles this way. So you try and avoid the bones that are in there. So I'd make my first slice into here. And we're just going to cut off some slices through there. Cutting against the grain will make it much more tender. You can see that the fibres are crossways, they're not going lengthways with the ham. So that's the first tip about carving. You can carve from the other side if you like, but just always remember that muscle fibres run down this way, so you're trying to cut across the muscle fibres. The next thing to think about with the lamb ham is that you want to get the most out of it, so storage is really important. So the first thing to do is to get a ham bag or a cotton pillowcase and soak it in about 50-50 water and white vinegar. Soak it in that, hang it on the clothesline, let it dry out again, so that the bag is actually impregnated with the acidic vinegar, which stops bacteria growth. So once you've done that, all you have to do is pop your ham inside the pillowcase or ham bag, just like that, and pop it into the fridge, wrapped up. And that will keep in the fridge for up to 3 weeks, but it's very important that you also control the temperature. The longer you leave your ham sit out in room temperature, the less lifespan you'll get out of it. So it's important to pop it back into the fridge as soon as you've finished carving it. Don't leave it sitting on the table for too long. As far as marinating and basting the lamb hams go, I've only experimented with this a couple of times and I have yet to perfect it. So at this stage, I recommend just using it as it is and not basting it. If you have success with basting, I'd love to hear your recipe and instructions to see how you did it and how successful it was. So 3 to 4 weeks in the vacuum bag, it'll be fine, and then another 3 weeks in the fridge once it comes out if you follow all the care instructions. They've turned out really well. I'm really happy with them and I'd love to hear what you think. So have a nice Christmas with your family.